Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Life Without Limits podcast series. Today we're going to have the privilege of speaking with Mo Smith. Now, Mo is one of our exercise specialists, and she's going to share some insights on why she chose bariatrics and how exercise is so very vital to each and every one of our patients. There's going to be some great information coming up. Hello and thank you to everybody listening on this podcast. My name is Russell View. I'm the bariatric liaison here at the Center for Bariatrics. And joining us today is our exercise specialist and just an amazing personality in the bariatric program. Her name is Mo Smith, and I've got Mo here with me. So Mo, thank you, first of all, so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to allow us to do this. I want to jump right in, but before I do, Mo, I want you to just say hi to the folks out there. Let them hear your melodic tone.
I'm Mo. I'm the exercise specialist here for Bailey Bariatrics, and I've been here for almost coming on 9 years. I started in 2013. So I'm here for you at the Center for Bariatrics as your motivator and your exercise specialist.
How did you first get into exercise? And as a side note, dance, because I know you dance as well. So how did you get started in exercise and dance?
My mother was my dance teacher. So again, in Shawnee, Oklahoma, my mother had a dance studio. She always jokingly said that I was born with ballet shoes on. So here I am, 2 years of age, wanting to be on stage. I wanted to perform. I wanted to dance. So I've taken ballet, tap, jazz, point, modern, lyrical, theater productions. I've traveled the United States. Actually, I've gone across the continent and performed in various performances. But dancing was my background. Dancing was my passion. But it was in the dance studio that I definitely recognized body performance and agility, mobility, how physiology works and the mechanics of body. Also, that kind of led me down the path of a horrible mindset of anorexia and bulimia. So that's something that I don't really talk about a lot in my patient consults. That's something that I battled for a long time. Again, my mom was my best and my worst critic. And you had to be the stigma of 110 pounds, or you can't perform. So I battled with that demon for a long time. So I get married, I'm off on my own, woohoo, I get pregnant. I'm like, yeah, guess what? No one's telling me I can't eat, I can't do this, I can't do that. I blossomed. My oldest son, Caleb, I gained 55 pounds with him on my first pregnancy. And so I was preeclampsia, borderline diabetic during pregnancy. I was on bed rest the last 6 weeks, but I got really onto the other aspect of bulimia and anorexia. And so I had to find balance again. I needed to find Mo. Okay, this is not acceptable. So I get back on healthy lifestyle, trying to figure out what works best for Mo. And oops, I got pregnant again 6 months later. It's kind of like having those Irish twins. And so bloomed 50 pounds, came right back. I was like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. And then after little Caden was born, God love him, I had a break between him and my daughter. And I battled that demon again of anorexia, bulimia, taking laxatives. So education, I educated myself on diet and exercise, what a body needs to function. You have to have fuel to function. You can't deprive yourself of that fuel. And learning that I needed to exercise as well because my heart was taking a toll on this disease that I was battling. And so being that I was borderline losing my life, borderline to obesity, I needed to find what was best for me. And I came upon kickboxing. Woo! I loved kickboxing, but man, I couldn't teach a whole class of an hour because I had to have fuel. And so finding that balance and educating myself on human performance kinesiology and became a personal trainer at that point. And so I started teaching here in Owasso back in 2004. I was teaching dancing and kickboxing, of all things. So it all came back around full circle. But it wasn't until 2013, maybe the end of 2012, beginning of 2013, David Stewart, our wonderful program director, came to me and he goes, I need for you to really think about working for me at Bailey Bariatrics.
Appreciate you sharing. And that's pretty amazing path you've been on. I even learned some things there that I didn't know, and I've known you from day one. So you mentioned your passion and how you realized at different points you needed to take care of Mo. You had to get yourself healthy. So I assume that probably relates into this next question. But the question is, why did you choose to work specifically with bariatric patients?
So again, like what I was saying is when he's like, I need for you to come work with me at Bailey for the bariatric, I thought it was for older people. And at the time, this is kind of funny, at the time I was teaching silver sneakers, which was a sit and fit range of motion exercise class for the older community.
Yeah, for the seniors.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I could do this at the hospital, no problem. So then it's when I came in and I realized, bariatrics is a weight loss journey. I've got a lot that I could give to that. Learning about finding what suits the person, the individual, the best. With bariatrics, I've learned and also understood is that not everybody is made the same. I can't just sit there with my average Joe patient coming in and say, okay, go run on a treadmill for 30 minutes. I'll see you next week. That's not going to happen. And so learning and understanding the struggles that I call them my family, our patients, the struggles that they have, and learning how to adapt and motivate them to move on ways that they can move. And bariatrics is not only weight loss, but life-changing of the mechanics of your metabolism. And there's just a lot that goes into I can't put my thumb on it of why I chose this, but I was drawn to helping others that have come to that spot that they thought they had no other chance. Right. And helping them get that one little glimmer on an exercise side of, oh my gosh, you mean I don't have to be at the gym 7 days a week? No, you don't. And it's so fun to see the light in their eyes go, oh my gosh, I can march in place. That's no problem. Oh wait, I can use 2 cans of green beans and still get the same resistant workout. And it's just rewarding to let them know and to see that happiness in their eyes of like, whoa, I can do that. And they never thought about that.
Right. Being the bariatric liaison, of course, I work with each of the new patients coming in the program. And I run into this on a daily basis. We have a lot of folks out there who are very interested in coming into the program. They want to get their life back. They're sick and tired of waking up feeling sick and tired. They're tired of watching life go by and they don't get to participate. And one of the biggest challenges for them sometimes is coming in the office the first time, or even going online to do the online seminar, the paperwork, and the quiz, because they know they're committing themselves to a change. And I encourage anybody that's listening, if you have questions, you give us a call. I'll talk with you. I'll show you how the program works. We're always, always there to help. Okay. And when we help a patient and they go through surgery, we're not done. We have post-op follow-up. We have an entire team that takes care of you after the fact to make sure you're successful. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in for anybody listening. Mo, tell me about a challenge. We've talked about successes and how you got in this, in the bariatric side of things, but what's been one of the biggest challenges for you in your career?
Okay, so I will tell you straight up, prior to COVID, we had monthly gatherings at a gym facility. It was the Bailey Fit Club. And so my whole goal and purpose is to touch lives, to help them better themselves, to get out there, make them feel comfortable, make them feel welcomed, and giving them that energy and that positive reinforcement that they can do things. And so we reached out to several gyms in this area. Hey, do you mind offering, one day a class? We can celebrate them and they feel comfortable. So since COVID, I'm huge struggle of 2020, March of 2020 is how I can overcome that barrier of not being one-on-one with patients. And we've gone to this virtual stuff now. And granted, it helps a lot of people. They don't have to get out of the house. It's for their health and safety. I get it. But reaching them virtually is a struggle for me. I think it's a challenge because as the exercise specialist, we're hands-on. I want to see the body language. I want to see the person moving. I want to make sure they're having that positive reinforcement of muscle gain and not losing muscle coming into the office, but I want to work out with you. That's my challenge, is that I can't work out like with you in person. And so stepping outside of my scope of practice of exercise, group exercise class or whatnot has been a really challenge for me. And it's also helped me overcome a lot of my barriers of being on video. But now we're also using other instructors for the Bailey Fit Club. Where it was easy last year, I just called up the gyms and said, hey, or 2 years ago, hey, do you mind opening up a Saturday class for us? Oh, sure. I get 50 people in there and they might get gym memberships out of it. And we could celebrate and take pictures. And because that's what we need. We need that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always nice when you get to interact directly.
Yes. That's my big challenge, honestly, Russ, is not being one-on-one, hands-on, helping them and giving those opportunities to patients.
Sure. What would you say to someone that's, let's just say, kind of on the fence and considering bariatric surgery? How would you address that? If I told you, I'm thinking about it, but I'm just not sure.
There's a lot that goes into it. And so I have a lot of friends and family members that are like, oh, I've been kind of interested about that. And I can't say enough is do your education, do your research, make sure that this is best for you. Come and talk to us. And we might be going along and we find 3 months into it, they really don't need surgery. Okay, that's fine too, but we're still going to help you and we're still going to be there for you. Bariatric surgery is not for everybody. Great, but it's a good tool to help get you where you need to be. I would definitely cheer them on and tell them I'm on their side. Absolutely, 100%.
Right. And it's important to know that as a person goes through our program, of course, safety drives everything. Yes. Safety is number one. But we do have patients that join our program and start to lose weight, doing what the dietitians teach them and what you teach them. And we're never going to push someone to surgery. If they're finding success, then we're just going to support that and continue on that pathway. For the majority of our patients, their bodies do not respond to diet and exercise like they should. In essence, this miraculous machine we call a human body, their machine is broken. And we have to fix that. Once we fix that, then the diet and the exercise work. When they're eating the right things and they're doing what you've taught them to do, they see gains they've never seen before. They lose the weight and they gain their lives, right? Absolutely. And so we do see that.
And I do remind them, I'm like, it's a tool. This is not a quick fix. This is not something that to take lightheartedly. We didn't get here overnight. And so finding your spot where you need to be healthy, it's going to take time. It's hard. I would challenge, I dare someone trying to live the life of a bariatric patient in one day. It's a difficult decision. And it's something that they've got to take in wholeheartedly. It's got to be right for them. Right. But I would definitely encourage, sure. Because they do. You need that tool to go in and get you up and over that hump that you've hit over and over. And especially with exercise, typically you go in with this all or nothing mentality. And I've got to be at the gym 5 days a week. And I need to run on a treadmill for an hour. And I need to lift heavy weights. And I'm not seeing any results. Well, that's because something like you were saying, your engine is broken. And so the surgeon gets to go in and go, hey, let's give this person another chance. Let's restart her metabolism. Let's restart his engine again. And it might be removing 80 to 90% of your stomach with a sleeve. It might be rerouting it like the Roux-en-Y, but it gives you a second chance. And the thing is that we're here for you to help keep you going and keep you motivated. You mentioned earlier, safety drives everything, and post-op care is just as important as pre. And we see patients
absolutely
every 3 months for the first 2 years. I don't want you to lose your muscle mass. And so we need to make sure you're getting all your protein and you're exercising, keeping your muscle. We want that muscle gain. And a lot of times when we don't have that Tanita scale reading, we do get discouraged by the number on the scale. Step off the scale at home. Do not touch that. Come here and see what your muscle is, your bone is, how much your water weight is. Yes, your fat mass as well. But let's take an overall picture. Hey, I've gained 5 pounds of muscle and I only lost 3 pounds of fat. But hello, you've lost inches. And so that's
right.
what, main thing that I push out to the people that are considering bariatric surgery is not to look at that number, but your total overall health and well-being and the positive outcome of that. And I don't know if that really answered your question.
Well, it does, but it also brought something into play. You mentioned the Tanita scale, and I just want to kind of elaborate on that for folks who aren't familiar with it. We have in our offices some extremely advanced scales, and they'll do a little bit more than your scale at home will. So when you get on one of our scales here in the Bariatric Center, it's not only going to tell us what you weigh, but it's going to give us a lot of additional information. It'll tell us your composition, how much of you is water, how much of you is muscle, how much of you is fat. It'll tell us how that is distributed over your body. So we can see the amount of muscle, the amount of fat in a given limb, in your right arm or your left arm, or how that muscle is balanced through your body. Is it more one-sided than the other? It'll tell us a basal metabolic rate. So we would know, for example, what your machine, your body uses in a given day just to run through the course of a day. So we know how many calories you burn at rest, so to speak. And this is critical because I've had patients in the past who told me, well, I go on diets and I haven't lost any weight. Well, our scale will tell us perhaps you're losing some fat and gaining that muscle. Same weight back in muscle.
Correct.
So if you lose 5 pounds of fat, but you gain 5 pounds of muscle, your scale at home will typically tell you weigh the same. But we're able to see that you're transitioning into a healthier body. You're gaining muscle, which increases metabolism, which burns fat. But they really give us a better picture and give you a better picture of how you're actually gaining and moving ahead.
And it shows your visceral fat rating. Don't forget about that one.
That's exactly right. It shows visceral fat, that fat that surrounds the abdominal muscles. And that's a big index for us. Yeah. Okay. So you've come from a diverse background. How have you adapted or modified your job to cater to the bariatric patient?
So that's funny you say that. Being a personal trainer, about 12 years ago, I started my personal training journey. And at that time, that was the Jillian Michaels, the Biggest Loser. Boy, did I learn a lot. So that was the old mindset of you better go, all or nothing. Go, 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 push, 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 break them till you make them. Step outside of that. That was my old way of thinking. And I wish I would have known that then, what I know now. But personal trainers do get this bad rap of being the lesser of two evils and the demon and the excruciating pain. I get it, but they don't know any better. And so coming into a bariatric lifestyle, I learned that I can't scream and yell at the patients in their face and tell them, get down and give me 20. That's not going to happen. And so learning to modify and show variables of exercise and learning that we're at a fat burning stage of life, not calorie burning. We need calories. And so I've had to totally rechange my mindset of, well, I'm running so I can eat. Oh, no. I need to eat so I can run. And so I've broadened my mind immensely following a bariatric lifestyle of fueling to function is what I call it. Quit putting diesel in an unleaded tank. You're not going to get very far, and you're going to break your vessel by doing that.
Right.
And so I use car analogies a lot of you wouldn't do that to your own vehicle that brought you here to this center. So why would you do that to your own body? And it's almost kind of like, oh, I get it.
Right.
We're human. We make excuses for everything why we can or cannot do something. But I promise you, if we are not taking time to better ourselves, to heal ourselves, to be healthier, you will be forced to make that time. With exercises, even we can break up little 10-minute increments even throughout your day is still very beneficial to human performance. And it might be in that 10 minutes that we do some interval training, but we're doing something, moving. That's the key, is just moving and celebrating the movement of what we can do instead of looking at it as exercise as a punishment of what we've done to our body. And I want us to realize and recognize that we shouldn't deprive our body of the finer things of life. Absolutely. But we just need to learn moderation. And again, that's why we have such a wonderful team. We're gears. We're like a zipper. And if one of those gears or the key is out of place, we got to go back in and reset it. And so I've definitely adapted a lot with my job.
And I want to wrap up with this question. Is there a specific achievement or accomplishment that you're most proud of?
How many patients have I seen since 2013? Those are all my...
Thousands and thousands and thousands.
They're my accomplishments. It's the reward of look at what they've accomplished. It wasn't me. It was them that did the work, but I was part of it.
Right.
There's not really one specific achievement or accomplishment. There are thousands of accomplishments that I got to help. I will say when in 2019, the last time that we were able to meet together as a family, we were at our patient care conference. I was oblivious to this whole situation. I had no idea. It was lunch break. And David calls to me. I'm out in the waiting lobby area because I'm getting ready to teach my kickboxing class. And David's like, come here, Mo, come in. I'm like, what? Why? I don't want to listen to you guys talk, which is kind of funny. And I got the award for the ripple effect. And it hit me then of kind of like that little droplet of water and how it affects and spreads like a ripple. And when you receive that award because of your crew that you work with, the people that acknowledge what you have, the impact on others, I cried forever. That was a really good accomplishment. Pat on the back, I guess I should say. So being recognized as making that one, just my one little droplet. Accomplishments that I'm proud of. Caleb Alexander, 23-year-old, med school. That's my oldest son, almost 24. Caden Avery, my junior in college at OSU, computer science degree. Madison McKenzie, just graduated high school. She's attending TCC. I have 3 beautiful children that push me and make me strive to be a better person. If I can't take care of me, I can't be there for them.
Right. That's true. And that's true for our patients, too. They're trying to get their life back. And what I've noticed over the many years, and it was an education for me coming into bariatrics as well. I hadn't worked in this side of things. And what I found that just amazed me is so many of our patients have spent their entire adult life caring for other people. And they've never really taken the time to take care of themselves. And it's so important that you do so, because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be there to take care of those other people. And I see that in so many patients. And, it touches your heart every time you make that connection with a patient and you see them gain their life back in
That
any
light
way.
just goes ting.
Yeah. And that's a big part of the reward that we get working in bariatrics.
And not feeling guilty about gaining life and taking care of you. That I get that a lot too.
Right.
They come in, I'm like, oh, I can't take the time to do these doctor's appointments. Yes, you can, and don't feel guilty about it.
You need to make time for you.
You need to make time.
Awesome.
Male, female, young, old, you've got to take care of you and gain a healthy quality of life.
Right.
Absolutely.
And everybody deserves that.
Yes.
Well, Mo, I thank you so much for sitting down with us today. I appreciate you greatly. I want to let everybody out there know that if you're listening to this and you have any interest in pursuing the bariatric program or just kind of learning a little more about it, you're always welcome to call me. Again, I'm Russell View. You can reach me directly at 918-376-8421. And we look forward to meeting you and sharing your success. Have a wonderful day, and thank you again for listening to us. Bye-bye.